Howdy! How's all my girls out there in YouTube land tonight? I say we got a few of them in there in the chat room. We got KK out there. I believe it's pronounced Kayla, and she is in Hawaii. And we got Brenda here in the room with me tonight.
Hello,
and we are going to have one heck of a good time. I've got all kinds of great things to show you. Kiki just came in there. Good to have Kiki with us. And I'm going to show you girls all kinds of stuff. I think you will enjoy the show tonight. And then I've got some fun stuff to discuss with you too before it's all said and done. This is what you'll be telling your friends about before it's said and done, because your girl's like, you ain't gonna believe what that woman said on that show. But you might notice here on my desk, you see this pretty flower that I made, girls? Because for the end of the show, I'll show you how you can make one too. And it's real simple to make. Well, when Fiona gets in here, she might not think so, but for all the rest of you, you're probably going to think it's pretty easy to make. And it turned out so pretty that I figured y'all might enjoy that. And if we have time, I might show you how to make some foil decorations. It's called the Texas Star, that you can hang on your Christmas tree or hang in the windows, put it on Christmas packages or whatever you want to do with them. Those are nice to have too. So I'm going to get started here. I got some happy mail today that I thought you'd all enjoy.
Hi, Joyce. How are you guys? Hi, Kiki.
Hello, ladies. I blew my Michelle impression since she ain't with us tonight. Hello, ladies. But I got this package from Melissa. Some of you may have seen this. She did a show on this the other day where she was making me some happy mail for my birthday. And she sent me this pretty package that she'd made up. And she put a little label on there. It says, Happy Birthday, Chickie. And then she put that rubber stamp of a rooster on there. And she did a painting. It's got some hearts on it there with her liquid pour. And she put a bunch of stuff in this envelope. So I'm going to show you what all she sent me in case you didn't see it. She did them liquid pours that night on this glossy paper. This photo paper. And
yes, Kiki, it's me.
They even sent me this booby one that she did. And I'm going to frame that, and I'm going to hang that in my bedroom underneath my spurs.
Oh, my God.
I think the boobies need to go up there with the spurs on the wall in the bedroom. And she sent me this pretty one. This is a confetti right here.
Hey, Brenda, KK is in the process of making a Nightmare Before Christmas themed junk journal.
Cool. That is cool. I am going to be making some ATCs, some Halloween ATCs. And if anybody wants to trade ATCs with me, Halloween ATCs, just get in touch with me. We'll trade addresses and we'll trade some ATCs up. But I've got some really cool pictures to put on some ATCs for Halloween. I'm going to do some backgrounds and stuff on them and do them up. And I think that, you know, anybody that likes ATCs and collect them would get a kick out of having some Halloween ones for their ATC journals. So if you want to trade ATCs, you can get in touch with me. Just leave me a comment here on how to get in touch with you, or contact me on Facebook. It's brenda.gibson.71. Put that in your search there on Facebook, and it'll take you right to my Facebook page. And friend me on there, and we'll exchange information. Let's see. You can email me at brenda.gibson@gmail.com and get in touch with me that way. So, you know, I'm pretty easy to get a hold of, and we'll trade some ATCs for Halloween. But there's that. And then she gave me this liquid pour that she did on cardboard. It is on the back of a cereal box, Special K cereal box. She did that liquid pour, and that'll get framed and hung on the wall. Some of Melissa's art. Unfortunately, she did not sign it. I wish she had signed it. But That will get hung on the wall. Then she sent me a whole bunch of her painty papers that she made. And those are really cool. And I will probably be putting those in a book. Put them in some page protector. And,
oh, I didn't see the circles. Those are pretty.
Yeah, she did. See, and all these are glittery too. It's not showing up on the camera how glittery they are. This one here, all these silver things are metallics in that. And these are ones that
I saw her video for that one. She did the who was it? It was like From Trash to Treasures, I think.
She did that with the balloon, I think.
Oh Lord, the balloon.
And there's another one she did with the balloon where she bounced it around on the page. Those look like pansies on there.
Kiki said that you are so lucky, Brenda, for getting 70s.
I know. I mean, man, I am so honored that she would think enough of me to send me all this, but I ain't done yet. I mean, you girls are going to die when you see what all she sent me. She cut out some of her pores into flowers and put gems in the middle of them, and she highlighted them. I don't know if you can see how she highlighted on these little lines here. She put glitter, like stickles, on the flowers. I mean, those are just absolutely gorgeous what she did there. And she sent me a birthday book with her chicken on it.
Oh, her zine. Yeah, she was showing that on her video that she made, pretty much showing what she was putting in there for you. And she used the construction paper chicken.
Yeah, she put the chicken on there. And then she put stuff in pockets. She's got all kinds of pockets over this. And it's got all kinds of stickers, cool stickers in there. And she, let's see. Let me open this up here. There's another pocket here. It's got a bunch of stickers in it. And then one of her chickens.
Lisa Frank.
And then she put the clown on the inside of it. Says, "Is that cake?" with the sad clown. And then we got the sloth and Red Riding Hood with the birthday cake. And more stickers up here in another pocket that she put some stickers in that one. And then the end.
Oh my goodness.
And there's me with my birthday cake.
Lagging just a little bit, Brenda. There.
I was just so tickled to death to get that from her. She did such a wonderful job on that. And I'm just honored to death that she'd think enough of me to send me a beautiful package like that full of her goodies. And yeah, I will be taking excellent care of that. But then I've got another package to show you. More Happy Mail. And Brandy is going to put the URL for this in the chat room there for you. This came from the Shade Store, wasn't it?
Yes.
The Shade Store, what it says here. These are free swatches that you can get from the Shade Store. Let me try to get this camera organized here a little bit better for this. I bumped it a minute ago. And now it's...
There's the link for it, ladies. And it's a good idea that you can select, most good number would be probably about 20. And then if you don't, if you want to be sneaky, you can wait a little bit and then order 20 more like I'm about to do.
This, I am so impressed. I just went on their website and it asks you, it has a little link there that you can click about getting swatches and samples. And so I clicked on that and just, ordered their swatches book. And it, like I say, it's free. Well, here's what they sent me. I got this, which is a really nice plastic holder. And on the inside of it, you got 2 pockets, one on each side. And in this pocket, you've got, it starts off with shade samples. And that's a linen fabric there. Here's some of the hard, I don't know what they call these really. It's the hard plastic stuff that they make the shades and stuff out of.
Roman shades?
Yeah, you got some of them. And then you got one where I think this could be used as a pull down in one of the journal's pages. You know, if you got something you want to pull down, that would make a nice little trim piece there for the pull down. Then there's these. These are going to be excellent for pop-up cards. Look at that.
Wow, that's cool.
That is a shade sample there, and it's honeycomb. But if you just put it like that, when you open up the card, this pop up and you put, you know, whatever decorations or, you know, whatever you want to pop up on that. That will make an excellent pop-up card. Here's another one.
That's so cool.
I mean, my goodness, you can't put that to good use. Something wrong with you. But there's
make like an accordion out of it.
Then you get the samples on this side of the book.
Oh, KK, are you having trouble seeing? Can you guys see her and hear me?
If you might type in the chat room there for them that if they're having problems with the audio or video, then they need to refresh. I wouldn't know why they were having a problem with the video on it. It should be going through just fine. Let me click on something here and see if I can see any issue. No, it looks like it's coming through fine. Well, no, it does appear to kind of be frozen. No, it's moving.
Yeah, it's moving. It's just a little laggy.
Yeah.
But not bad enough to where it's freezing up.
Yeah. I mean, I can't do anything about it freezing up. That's bandwidth issues.
Lynn says she can see fine and hearing fine. Emily, hi Emily. I can see and hear everything, and chat is good on my end.
Hey, Crafty. See Crafty in there.
Oh, Jeanette. Hey, sweetheart. I hope you're doing good.
But here's these really pretty.
Oh my goodness, look at that print.
And I thought that one was really cool. I mean, that's all stitching on top of that. That's all done in stitching. Then here's a glittery one.
The edging is gorgeous.
I don't know if you can see the glitter on that or not, but man, that is shiny.
Oh my goodness.
And there's a flannel. And there's a pretty linen. And then you got that one. And here's another real pretty one. This is a thick one here. So 6 by 6 pieces. I mean, my goodness, all kinds of things that you can do with those. Then on the other side of the book, you open this little flap up and they've got shade samples in here. 3 different kinds of shade samples that they put in it. So you got those to play with to make pockets and different things out of. Backgrounds. Then you got another stack of material over here on this side. Let me get this all up. So many of them, I can't get a hold of them all. But that one. Here, let me lift these up and lay them down like that. And there's one. There's one. And there's one. And there's one.
Oh my goodness.
This one's kind of, I don't know, it's thick. It reminds me of like kind of a plastic, but it's still flexible. And then this one's kind of heavy too, but yet it's thin. You can see through it, but you know, it's a stiffer fabric. Then this one has bling on it. Got a blingy one in there. And there's a stripy one. There's a darker stripy one. There's a gray color. And there's a lighter gray color. So there's a bunch of different ones there to choose from. So I was real impressed. And if you're doing anything where you can use fabric swatches and you know, you can get them for free there, right there. So there you go. So I thought I'd share that with you, but I ain't done. They also sent, let me get all this gathered up here out of the way. They also sent me the book. This is their catalog. And this is gorgeous. There are all kinds of really cool pictures and colors and things in there. If you need backgrounds for your ATCs, you need background stuff in your journals, you know, you can make backgrounds on greeting cards out of this. You can use this on your serendipity paper. I mean, look at that one there. Look at the texture on the fabrics that they're showing right there on that page. And so you girls that's doing the paper clip art and stuff, all kinds of neat stuff. Look at that stuff for the backgrounds on your paper clips. And there's some more of them that would be great.
And is that paper?
Well, it's magazine, you know.
Okay, so it's pretty good.
But you could just cut it out, just like, you know, it's not a real stiff. It's like any of your really good quality magazines. You know, if you're looking at Vogue or, you know, any of your good quality magazines, that's the stiffness of the paper in it. It's not cardstock, you know. It bends and, you know, flips around, but it's like any good quality magazine paper.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, oh man, I was so impressed just by the catalog alone, let alone the samples that they sent, that man, I wanted to show that to y'all so that you could see what all you get in that packet. For free, girls, free.
Yep, no credit card entry, no card entry whatsoever.
Nope. So I wanted to share that stuff with you. Then I wanted to share with you my liquid pour experience.
I think Annette went to order all those swatches.
Good.
She said she would be right back.
Get your swatches ordered. This is the liquid pour that I did yesterday. And today I put the clear coat on it. And I'll tell you what I did here. I had a mailing envelope that, like you get the photos in, where it says do not bend. And I cut it up into 4x4 pieces. So it was just yellow envelope. Then on the back of it, I glued water bottle lids, just with tacky glue. These will pop right off after it gets dry. But you want it setting up off your pan when you're painting. Right. Because you're doing a pour on it. And when you pour, you want it to go over the edges of it. So that's what I started off with. Then I mixed my white and I poured the white on, and then I mixed my red and I mixed a little purple and I mixed a little khaki tan color. Now, I mixed it way too thin. I've listened to, I don't know, about a half dozen people that do these liquid pours, and they've all got a different consistency that they tell you to mix it. One says do it half paint, do it half your extender, Floetrol, you know, whatever it is that you're using to mix with it to thin it. Some of them say 1 part paint, 4 parts extender. So I wasn't really sure. The one true thing that I've heard a lot of them say is it needs to be the consistency of, well, I'm going to say a loose honey. When you get it on your stick and you're stirring with a stir stick, and when you go to pull the stick up, it should just slowly run off of that stick. So when you put your paint in the cup, you put your paint in there, just use a little bit of your extender at a time, whatever kind of extender you're using. The stuff I'm using, I couldn't find any Floetrol, but what I found up at the Walmart is this stuff. It's called Clean Strip for smooth finishes. It's a latex paint additive, and that's what thins your paint down. So you just use a little bit, just a dribble at a time in your paint until you get it to the consistency you want. You don't just, you know, go, well, I used an ounce of paint, so I'm going to use an ounce of this. Oh, no, 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 no. You get it way too thin. You try doing something like that. And there again, it depends on what kind of paint you're using. You know, I was using apple barrel. If you're using, you know, some kind of fancy artiste paint, it it might be thicker than apple barrel. So you might need more of this than you would if you use an apple barrel paint. So yeah, you just want to use a little bit at a time until you stir it in and get the right consistency. You know, that it just dribbles off your stir stick.
Well, that's good.
Then
is always good.
Yeah, once I got it all figured out there with my paint, which I didn't have right, I had it way too thin for this pour. I poured the red on. Oh my God, the red just took over everything. And then I poured the purple and the tan on it, and just I had to kind of swirl it around a little bit because the red had just taken over everything. And then I took the stick and I dipped some more of the white back onto it, and it just kind of marbled it up a little bit. So it didn't look too terrible bad when I got done monkeying with it, but that's what I ended up with out of it. So I thought, well, okay, let's let that dry and see what we end up with. And then maybe tomorrow I'll try it again. So I come in here this morning and it had dried, and well, you know, it's not too bad. Oh, and I also hit it with the heat gun. I don't have a torch, but I have a heat gun that Melissa recommended to me, and it's got a gauge on it, so you can set it at whatever temperature you want to set it at. I set it at 360 degrees, and I run that over it. Well, since the paint was so liquid, and the heat gun blows, it was blowing the paint all over hell and back, all over the cardboard. But it ended up not looking too terrible bad once it dried. Now, today, I did not clean it. I used a little bit of silicone in my cups so when I did the pour, because that's what's supposed to give you cells. It's got a few cells on it, but they don't amount to a whole lot. You know, mostly it's just marbling on there. But you're supposed to clean them. Some people say use cornstarch. Other people say use some alcohol. What is that other stuff? Dimethicane or something that some of them use on them to clean them. I didn't clean it at all. I just left it as it was because I thought, well, this is just a practice piece. Let's see what's going to happen. So I sprayed it with my clear, glossy varnish coat stuff and made it shiny.
Fiona's here.
Hey, Fi. It's hi-fi time. We've been talking about her. Her ears have been burning.
Hi, Diane.
But it didn't come out too terrible bad. There's a couple little dips in it. It probably wouldn't have been there had I cleaned it. But that's the one I did yesterday. So after I did this, I thought, well, okay, I'm brave. I'll give it another shot here. Let's see what we can do this time if I can get the paint a little thicker. So I mixed up my paints. But this time, I went real light on the extender. I didn't dose it like I did yesterday. And when I poured it, it poured a lot better for me. I got more cells out of it when I hit it with the heat gun.
Oh, look at all the cells.
And I thought that one did a lot better for me. And this one hasn't been glossed yet. There's still some places on it's not quite dry yet. So, but it's just, you know, flat paint, what it is. But for my frugal girls out there, because I've heard some of them talking about, well, I'd be interested in doing the liquid pour, but that looks like an awful waste of paint. All that paint that runs off into the pan, and, you know, you can't do anything with it once it gets in the pan. Well, yes, you can, girls. Yes, you can. There's a lot of different things you can do. Now, I'm going to try to get this up here where you can see it. I don't know. This thing's pretty big. But I've got this big old plastic tray thing that I got a desk mat in. And get that up there where you can see it. And all I did was I tipped the pan up that I had the pour off in, and I poured it into that little square there on the plastic mat, and I'm going to let it dry. I mean, it's thick paint, you know, because I just poured the little square there full of paint. all the runoff, and then I hit it with a heat gun so the cells would pop up on it. And I like that better than the one that I poured on the cardboard.
It's like a mini pour.
Yeah. So I thought that was really, really cool. I like that one a lot better than I like this one. This one just, it has big swirly things in it rather than the finer ones that has. So, you know, yes, you can use it. And then once you get it dry, you know, it's going to have to cure probably a week because that's thick paint right there. But once it dries, you pop it out of there and you can mount it on cardboard. You can cut it up into pieces for whatever purpose you want to do. I'm probably going to make some jewelry out of it. I was showing Brandy, we was talking last night, and I showed her I've got some metal, I guess you call them filigrees. What do you call them things, Brandy?
Oh, the cabochons?
Well, a cabochon is something you put in the mounts. These are mounts for jewelry.
They are called, oh crap. They're bezels. That's it.
Okay. Yeah. So I can cut this up and put it into the bezels and then put resin over the top of it and make jewelry out of it. So that's what I'm going to do with my runoff, and none of it's going to go to waste. And so I thought I'd show that to you girls that are afraid to do the liquid pours because you're afraid you're going to lose some paint. It doesn't have to go to waste. You can use it for other things. You can even take the pour off and pour it on canvas or more cardboard or, you know, whatever you want to pour it on. I was watching a gal today, and Lord have mercy, I cannot remember the name of her channel. Her name is Stephanie, but that's not the name of her channel. If I think about it by tomorrow, I will try to put the link to her channel in the description of this video for you. So if you come back and you look at the description of the video, it should be there in the box. But she was doing.
Carrie Foster says hello.
Hey, Carrie. How you doing out there in YouTube land?
And Jeanette says that she loves it, and it would make she loves the purple, and it would make a beautiful pendant. Yeah,
I think so too. Let's see if I can find them things that I was showing Brandy last night. I mean, this poor crafter, and it looks like crafter's archaeological dig in here. You've never seen so much stuff. I've just collected stuff like you wouldn't believe. But I got these things. And I'm thinking that those would make some pretty jewelry. You can get those pours cut and put in them and then resin over the top of them. That's what I'm
gorgeous.
But anyway, this gal I was watching today, she did a liquid pour on a canvas bag. She taped off a square on the front of a canvas bag. She had gessoed it. And then she put the white background down, or white background paint. Then she poured meticulously. I mean, you know, she would put a round spot and then a stem and another round spot, you know, different colors on this, and put stems. And then she'd take a pour like something that would look similar to a leaf, you know, down on there to make it look like a little flower garden. And then she took a piece of paper over the top, or a canvas, maybe it was a canvas, she put over the top of it and went straight down on that canvas bag, rubbed around on it, lifted it straight up off of the canvas bag, and it was the prettiest flower picture that you've ever seen on a canvas bag. And then she flipped over the canvas and she had the same picture on the canvas that she turned over.
Oh, wow.
It was absolutely gorgeous. And she said, starting out, I've never done this before, so this might be wonderful and it might be an epic fail. We're going to find out. And she did it. It was impressive what she had done with that pour. Then she took the tape off, and I mean, the tape just came off of it perfect, made a perfect square on that canvas.
Oh,
and, canvas bag, and I was real impressed with what she did there. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with your liquid pours. You're not limited to just pouring it on canvas. So I wanted to wanted to introduce y'all to that.
Brenda.
Yeah. Be like Brenda and try paint pouring.
Yep. Hey, Rose. Rose is here.
Rose needs to buy some more paint. Because the paint she's got in the closet's lonely. And it needs company. Oh, poor Rose.
Oh my goodness. Kiki said, are you ready to finish our fight? Yeah, I can put her in timeout tonight.
Well, now, girls, I wanted to show you the big reveal for the journal. I got the journal done.
She said, don't be like Brenda. She'll get you in trouble.
Oh, be like Brenda, be crafty. Now, I'm going to walk y'all through this because maybe not everybody saw what I did with this journal. I started out with the box that my Misty came in. I cut the bottom part off, you know, where it's got the little tabby things that slip into the bottom and the top. And I just cut it around to cut the one side off of it so you could open it up. Then I covered it. And I covered it using a handkerchief that I had used the tail end of some paint that I'd been silk painting with, and sopped it up on this handkerchief. It was a cotton handkerchief, and I Mod Podged it to the book. Then I went around the binding of it with some strings because that's what I was going to put my signatures in. And it's just some yarn, just some novelty yarn stuff that I had is what I used on that. Then I had some leaves that I had dried out of my yard last fall or the fall before. I don't know. They come in, they kind of go in the pile. But
would you mind zooming out just a little bit so we can see a little bit more of the book?
Well, I can try. I don't know if this camera or this stand will do it or not. I might have to find something to clip it with.
Everybody's wanting to the inside too.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the inside of it and show you everything that I've done to it. Let's see. I need something that I can hold that up with.
Oh, if you like that, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I can't stand here and hold it and do the book too. I got to find a clip.
I didn't know you were holding it.
Yeah. Let's see if that'll work. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better. Now
we'll try that. We'll see if that clip will hold it there. I've got to get one of those, I don't know, I call them mechanical arm things to bolt to the table. And that way I can put it where I want it to go and it'll stay put. I'm just using it on a selfie stick right now. And it don't want to stay where I put it. But, okay, we'll try to keep this in the camera so you can see it. But I Mod Podged the leaves down. If you watched the first show that I did, everybody gasped. And, oh, Lord, have mercy, what's she doing? Because I Mod Podged the dickens out of them, buddy. I slathered them. And then, after I got off the show, I took some real fine glitter. And I just glittered the leaves up while the Mod Podge was wet so that they would be shiny. And I think you can see there the sparkle coming off of them leaves. Then, once it was dry, I took my stencil brush and a little bit of white acrylic paint. And I stenciled around the edges of the leaves so that they would look like they were frosted.
They do, and they came out gorgeous.
I took some little flowers that I had in the flower bin, and I put the flowers on the front. I put a little butterfly down here. I took a couple cards from my Alice in Wonderland stash and put them on. This one says Curious over here, and this one says, if I had a world of my own, everything would be nonsense. And if that does not describe my life, I don't know what does. So I thought that belonged on my Wonderland journal. Then on the back of it, I took these little wooden rounds and I put them on for legs on it so that when it sits on a table, it don't scrape the back of it all up. Then I took a piece of lace and put around the middle of it because I put a ribbon couple ribbons around it so that I could tie it shut. So I wanted to kind of cover those over, and I put a piece of glittery lace on there. I put another one of my Wonderland cards that says, "There is a place like no place on earth, a land full of wonder, mystery, and danger. Some say to survive it, you need to be mad as a hatter."
That's perfect.
Then I put my Chessy cat down there on the bottom of it, my stamp. And I took some paint, some green and some yellow paint, and I made like a little wonky heart around my Cheshire cat down there on the bottom. And that's what I did on the cover. I also made a charm, if I can get it loose from my little tails on there, and show you what I did on my charm. I took a T-ball that was on a chain, and then I took little charms and hung off of the T-ball chain. There's a star and a moon, a couple moons on there, and then there's a little tassel that's got some bling on it, and there's another star up there.
Everybody's loving it.
I gave my journal a hairdo. See its pretty hairdo it's got going? Those are paper clips that I just took a bunch of strands of yarn and threaded them through, laced them on there in a larkspur, and tied a little knot on that one. And the rest of them just kind of hang. And there, this one I've got, I can show you. It's just a fuzzy piece of novelty yarn, and I larkspurred it to the paper clip so that I could fasten it to the pages. And that's her hairdo that she's got going on. And then we'll untie it, and I'll show you. Now, there's all kinds of stuff in here, and this might give you some ideas on stuff that you can do with your own journals, and it'll give you a little insight into my goofy life and things that I've been through. You're going to see all kinds of pictures and stuff in here. And now I'm going to warn you. What has been seen cannot be unseen.
Oh, God. So anybody under 18, please shut your eyes.
Now, I don't think there's anything that rough in here, but Lord have mercy. I mean, there's all kinds of pictures of me in here and all kinds of stuff I've been involved in. But I put a little pocket here with my chicken with the parachute. I put a Queen of Hearts card in the little pocket, and I decorated around the corners of it with hearts, you know, for the Queen of Hearts. I put some embellishments in the teapot over here on this side, a little thing that says this book belongs to Brenda Gibson. I put some little corner tabs on there. And all pages in this book are made out of my homemade paper, my scented homemade paper, because when I make my paper, I scent it.
Oh, wow.
Then this one is the one where I showed you how to make the little pocket deal where you could put the little inserts in the pockets and put pictures on them. Now, this is a picture of my daddy back in 1950, the year him and my mother were married.
Aww.
And he's on his Indian motorcycle. He loved his motorcycle. Then there's a picture in the next pocket of me and my daddy.
That is so sweet.
I used to be cute. Then there's a picture. There's me and Mom and Dad. I'm the cute one. There's a picture of 3 generations right there. There's me. You know, I'm the little one that's cute. There's my mom, and there's my grandmother. Then we've got my great-grandmother and her obituary piece that was in the paper. I put in there. And then I've got some empty spots where I can add some more pictures because I haven't been through all the albums and stuff to gather everything. Lord, I've got cabinets full of picture albums. And this is the waterfall, you know, where you can pull it and the pictures.
Oh, and the pages look up that Michelle just had a complete utter meltdown.
How do you do that? How do you do that? Now, over here, I put one of my embellishments, my beaded embellishments that I make. There's 175 seed beads on every one of these embellishments that I make. And so there's a bunch of those here in this book. I mainly use those for Christmas ornaments, but you can do them on greeting cards or obviously in journals or anything. Then
Brenda, Rose said that she guesses she can't get this journal. It's like a family tree.
No, this is my personal journal that I made here just to show you girls all the different things that you can do with one.
In other words, you can't have it.
Then I made these little matchbook things where you put the magnet on them, you put a little washer, and washer, girls, washer. Those are the things you put between the nut and the screw, not what you do your clothes with. The washer, okay.
Keep you that you are a beautiful woman.
Oh well, bless your heart. And I put rubber stamps on these here. See, we used to have real rubber stamps, you know. This is a dancing hedgehog, little ballerina hedgehog. You can't buy stamps like that no more. I mean, the ones they have are pretty. All the acrylic stamps are really pretty and stuff, but you can't get ridiculous stuff like dancing hedgehogs. And here I've got one that I put another rubber stamp in there. And here I've got little bunnies. Can you see my little bunnies down here on the bottom?
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Put a little saying inside that one. And then I've got another dancing hedgehog down there. Then this page, I haven't dressed this one up yet. I've got a stamp of Alice on here. This paper, I put gold leaf in the water when I made the paper. And so we got gold leaf mixed up in the paper. And I put a little embellishment down there on it. And I put a dress form on here and a pair of scissors and another little sticker thing. But when I was in high school, I used to do a lot of sewing and I made my own clothes. And it was difficult to do because the only sewing machine I had available to me was an old Singer, and all it did was a straight stitch. You didn't have the fancy things on them old sewing machines like you do on the new ones today. And when I first started out, I bought a few patterns, but after that, I branched out and made my own patterns. You know, I got the gist down of, okay, that you have to do it by your measurements anyway. So rather than buy a pattern that you have to adjust all over hex half acre to get to fit you, you might as well just make your own. So I went to making my own patterns. And so that was my reason for doing this page, and it was a reminder of learning how to sew. Then this page here, I put my Alice in Wonderland stamps. You know, I showed y'all my little box, wooden box that has my Alice in Wonderland stamps in it. So I got them out and I put the whole crew from Alice in Wonderland on there. Then on this page, I put a little saying that says, "Would you like an adventure now? Or shall we have our tea first?" And this page starts out with the cootie catcher up here, and it has the picture of the farm. I don't know if I can get that where the light will shine on it good, but that's an aerial view of the farm where I grew up.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
And then I put stamps of tractor and a barn and a corn stalks and stuff on that one. And then here it says, she decided to become who she always wanted to be, herself.
Hey, Brenda.
Yes, ma'am.
Beth said that she's been looking for you. I think it's Beth Schuler.
Beth has been looking for me. Well,
Yep.
Lord, Beth, didn't I answer your email yesterday? I'm pretty sure it was you that I answered your email yesterday. I ain't hard to find. Lord have mercy, I'm bigger than life.
Yes,
bigger than life and twice as mean. Then I made this petal envelope. Remember when we did the 4 circles and I put them together into an envelope? Well, I mounted that here in the journal. And let's see, I put a little thing on here that says Curiouser and Curiouser. And I put another little dancing hedgehog up there on that page. And on the inside of this one, I put a picture of my mom and dad with the motorcycle. This was taken 2 months after they got married.
Oh, wow.
And so I thought that should belong in the journal. So I got that in there. There is an aerial view of the farm Mom and Dad lived on when I was born.
That's awesome. I love the black and white.
And then I put this little quote from Alice in Wonderland in there. It says, the cat says, "Where are you going?" And Alice says, "Which way should I go?" And the cat says, "That depends on where you're going." And Alice says, "I don't know." And the cat says, "Then it doesn't really matter which way you go." And that's been my whole life. If you don't know where you're going, it don't matter which way you go. Just pick a direction and go. But this is the old farmhouse where I grew up. You saw the aerial view of it a little bit ago. That's the house where I grew up. And then
so these girls are freaking out. They are. Let's see. Kiki says that those pictures look like home to her. Rose said that your dad was a rebel. Beth said, "Aw," and Cloud9 Craft said, "Such a nice way to keep memories." And yeah, she's right. This is like a really good personalized journal.
Yeah, that's my point in doing this for you girls, because I've seen some of the journals that's been done, and they're nice in their own way, but I don't see anybody, and maybe it's just that they don't want to share their personal memories and stuff, but I thought it would be nice to show that you can do personal things with a journal and use it for something that you can pass down to next generations, or you can keep, because one of these days, hey, I may lose my mind and I may need a reminder of who the heck I am.
Lose your mind?
Yeah, well, I guess that would infer that I have one to begin with, but
oh, Carrie wants to know, do you have any siblings?
Do I have any siblings? Well, yes and no. I have a brother, but we are estranged. He is the bad boy of the family, and me and him do not get along. The last time I saw him was in 1989, and we have basically agreed to disagree and stay away from each other. He has a lifestyle to which I cannot condone. He's got a lot of bad habits, if you know what I mean. And so we just don't get along and stay away from each other, and life is better for it. But he's 7 years younger than me. So we kind of grew up in two separate families, because I was 7 years old when he was born. So, by the time I was 17, he was 10 years old. I was headed out. And he had a whole different upbringing than I did, because my mother passed away when I was 17 years old and he was only 10. And my dad raised him, whereas my mother had raised me. And my dad had a whole different attitude on raising kids than what my mom did. So my brother got absolutely zero discipline. Oh, wow. And did as he pleased. And as he grew up, he continued to do as he pleased. And a lot of things that he did weren't considered legal. And I can't condone his lifestyle. But that's the story between me and my brother. But this picture here, this is Dad's favorite tractor. This was an International. And that was Daddy's favorite tractor. This thing on it, if you've never seen those before, those were called a heat houser. And when it was cold outside, you wanted that heat houser on there because it would break the wind off of you and keep you from freezing to death when you was riding on the tractor. And then this picture down here, this one is of my first demolition derby car. Yes, I'm a demolition derby girl.
Oh my gosh.
That's my old Pontiac that I drove in the demolition derby, girls. It was a good car till it caught on fire and they disqualified me, but hey. That's my demo car. And then these are pictures of taken out on the farm, a big snowstorm we had. And this is how the snow would bank up. These are like 6 and 8 foot drifts that you see there in the pictures. That's in Ohio. We don't get snows like that very often anymore, but back in the day, we got great big old snows.
I don't think we've had snow like that in years down here.
When I was little, we got snows that was worse than that. I can remember being a little kid, and we'd go down, drive the truck down the road, and you just have the one lane to get down the road, and the snow banked up way up over top of the pickup truck. And if you met somebody coming the opposite direction, you had to back up until you found a lane or something you could back up into to let the traffic pass.
Rose said no, she drove that on the street.
Well, I did until we made a demolition car out of it. Well, I mean, when it fell apart so bad that, you know, it wasn't really drivable on the street anymore, we knocked the windows out of it and took it all apart and made a demo car out of it. Yeah, that's my old demo car. Then here's a picture of some more snow. This is at the front porch there where the snow banked up clear halfway up the front porch. Then I got pictures of me and my late husband when we got married. And so you get to see me being a bride.
Look at you.
That was back when I was young and skinny. Then let's see. I put a little thing in here about us. I said Jim and I were married September 17th, 1982 in Vandalia, Ohio Mayor's Chambers. The reception was at the Cowboy Nightclub in Dayton, Ohio.
Oh,
then,
wow.
There's another picture, a couple pictures of me in my dress. I said, "Oh, wasn't I sweet?"
Even Rose said, "Oh, bride and groom," but she said about the car to stick to that story.
Then I've got let's see, I got some embellishments here, that some of my beaded embellishments that I put in there. This girl here, she was my maid of honor at the wedding, and see, you see Cowboy up here. This was the nightclub where we hung out all the time, and so that was the perfect place for our reception at our wedding. Then you're gonna love this story if you haven't heard this one. Jim and I own 2 turkeys named Fred and Ethel. They were living in sin in the chicken coop. So we had a wedding with a real minister and a marriage license and married them off. 150 people attended the ceremony. It was a great party. And this is a picture of Fred. Bourbon red turkey. I put a picture of Fred in there. And this is not a very good picture of the ceremony, but it was the best one that I could come up with. This was taken very early in the day when people first started showing up. There's a picture of the big barn back there, and I had a big maple tree out in the barnyard, and we put bales of straw all over for pews out through the barnyard out there for people to sit on. And the minister stood right there under that tree, and we came out of the barn with the turkeys up there and walked up there under the tree, and the minister read the vows. Oh, it was a lot of fun. We had a big time. So that was our turkey wedding thing that we put on.
That is too cute. Turkey wedding.
Not very many people, you know, married off 2 turkeys. Well, there was this one guy that showed up. Somebody told him about it, and he showed up with a gift for the bride and groom, and he said something to me about, "Don't you feel bad talking about them, calling them turkeys all the time?" And I said, "Well, what else would you call them?" And then somebody explained to him that it really was 2 turkeys, that, you know, a bunch of idiots were getting married. So yeah, it was a hoot. It was a real hoot. Then I put pictures of the boys in here that I raised. That's my foster boy, and that's my stepson. And that was then when they were teenagers, and this is now pictures of them.
Okay. Ashton said 150 people attended a marriage with 2 turkeys. And then Rose said, yep, they thought they were serving turkeys, not marrying them.
Well, I tell you, we had the biggest feed. You never seen so much food in all your life, because I told everybody coming, I said, look, I don't care if you come, but you need to bring some food. We're going to set up tables, you bring food, and, you know, we're going to have a big feed. We will have a barbecue there if you want to bring your own stuff to throw on the barbecue. And, you know, just bring something to share is all I ask. I've got a drop leaf table that has 3 leaves in it. And I mean, that thing opens up, I don't know, like 10 foot long. And I took that out in the driveway and set it up. And we had a whole bunch of folding tables that we set up. We took bales of straw and piled them up and put plywood over the top of them for tables. And we had food. You wouldn't believe the amount of food that was out there. I didn't get a bite of it. Because by the time I got done with the turkeys, now this was in the summer. It was like in July. It was hot. Oh, my Lord, it was hot. So by the time we got done walling them turkeys around, I had to go change clothes. And so I go in the house, I get my clothes changed, come out to get something to eat, and every bit of that food was gone. There wasn't nothing left.
Jeanette said, I bet those turkeys were scared to death when the meat hit the grill. What a honeymoon.
Well, I fixed up the chicken house for a honeymoon cottage for them. And I painted a sign and hung on the door. It said Fred and Ethel on the coop. And the local television station came out and filmed it and had it on the 11 o'clock news that night. So we all got our 15 minutes of fame out of the turkey wedding. But yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Rose said, no one will believe me when I retell this story.
Well, you can send them to my other channel because I've got video of the turkey wedding up on my other channel. The URL to my other channel is in the description of this video. So you can go over there, look through my story times and find the one for the turkey wedding and it'll show you the video. But yeah, oh my goodness. People couldn't believe what we was doing.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Well, it's all good, clean fun. I mean, you know, what's wrong with having a turkey wedding?
Well, Carrie said, she asked, did the turkeys get a bite? Rose Ryan. Rose said, the honeymoon was hot, Jeanette.
It was a hot time in the old coop that night, let me tell you.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. I didn't start it this time.
But then let me go on with this journal thing. We'll be here till next week. I embossed a page here with music notes because I love music. Some of you saw my Wonderland video where I showed my Wonderland living room, know that I like music. I got steel guitar and some harmonicas and dulcimer, and I played the flute when I was in high school. So, you know, I'm a music fan. So I put that in there to remind me about my music. And then I put some rubber stamps of bulldogs because I raised bulldogs for like 20 years and showed bulldogs and raised bulldogs. And when I moved up here, I threw away probably 3 or 4 boxes of ribbons and trophies and stuff that I had won from showing my dogs because, you know, you can't bring everything when you move. You have to de-stash, and my craft supplies was way more important than all them trophies and stuff, so I gave up the trophies. But here are some pictures of some of my dogs. This was my first champion, the Spike, my first champion. There's another picture of him with his Christmas hat on, and there he is laying in front of the couch. And then Caledonia, oh, my first female. Oh, love that dog. And she made fame when she won the Bulldog or the Kennel Club's costume contest. I had her dressed up as an elf.
That's too cute. I love the tongue hanging out.
So she was a little elf. Everybody loved her in a little elf suit. Then I've had a bunch of other dogs. I don't have all their pictures in here, but there's my Weimaraner. She was my hunting dog. And there's Hank. And then Rusty and her puppies down here in a picture. And then, let's see, I got Shep. These are my current dogs, Shep and Shadow and Scarlet.
Hold it down just a little bit.
When you hear me talk about my dogs,
there you go.
Shep and Shadow and Scarlet are my dogs when I say, hey, I got to let them in or I got to let them out or, you know, whatever I got to do with them. Those are the ones I'm talking about. And then, hey, y'all remember me telling this story about the idiot that stole my car and ran off? Well, I had to put him in here because, I mean, that was a big jolt in my life. And so he needed to go in here. And here's what I wrote. I said, I should have run the day I met this one. Who'd have guessed he'd steal my car, run off to Canada to meet a married woman he'd met in an internet chat room for people who thought they'd been abducted by aliens. I wish aliens would abduct him, but the aliens don't want him either. I can't make this up. Another trip through Wonderland. And then I put a little pocket over here on this side. It's a double pocket. And I put both of these little things that freaked Michelle out. Remember when I did these on the show?
How did you do that? She was bad.
So I made 2 of them that night, and I put them both in here. And I put one of my embellishments with my beads on it there. Here's the other one. Or you open it up like that. And then, abracadabra. And open it up like that.
Be nice.
Too much fun.
She said she doesn't know why you hadn't been committed already.
They can't catch me, and they ain't got a big enough net. Here's I don't know, dossier of my pictures, I guess. There's my baby picture. There's maybe my Rocky Horse. I was a big Rocky Horse fan. And then there's a bunch of my school pictures and stuff as I grew up. Gawky looking teenager. And there's my cow with the jetpack on and my flying pig with the beanie. I'm telling you.
Things. Jeanette said, Brenda, we could make the best movie with your life story, honey. I love hearing you tell the stories. You actually take us there. Just love every minute of it. Thank you for sharing your life with us. And then Carrie said, Brenda, you always make me laugh when I'm having a bad day. Thank you for giving me a good laugh.
Aw, you girls are sweet. And we got some more pictures of me. And my senior picture there. And there, this one I'm proud of. This is a picture of me in one of them old-timey setups, you know, where you go to the mall and get your picture taken with the machine gun and all that. I'm real proud of that picture.
I would be too, because that's you on a normal day.
And a bunch more of my modeling pictures and stuff. Now in this page, I put a couple pages together here, and I made a slide out, and I haven't put any pictures on that slide out yet, but there's a slide out that goes between the pages right there. And then there's some more of my glamour shots. And then I was involved in ham radio, so I put the flying pig up here on this one, and some of my friends in the ham radio community and some of the events. I was a president of a ham radio club over in Dayton, Ohio for 10 years. And so put in a lot of time in the radio stuff. Then the last place I lived, I put in a fish pond, made it out of a stock tank and put some water lilies in there. And I had an electric pump that I had in it that would pump water, and I had a bunch of goldfish in there. And that's my little pond that I had out in front of the deck. And then this is Fred. And most anybody that has talked to me on the phone or on the Facebook chat or anything, they've heard a bird squalling in the background. That's Fred.
That's Fred.
Fred's my co-host on some of my shows.
Hey, Kiki said that her dad was a member, WA8NSL.
I don't recall that name. I was the president of the Far Out Amateur Radio Club.
Okay.
And they're defunct now. They've gone under. When I moved away, you know, everybody just kind of fell apart and the club fell apart. But I was the president of Far Out Amateur Radio Club for like 10 years. 2000, I think, was my first year as president, and 2010 was my last year.
Well, oh, Fiona's favorite stars.
Yep, put the stars in here on this page. I stamped a rose on cardstock or on scrapbook paper and put that in there. I used to raise doves too. And I had all different colors of doves. If you wanted a color of dove, I was pretty much your one-stop shop for doves. And I used to have a lot of magicians come to me to get their doves for their acts. And then I put the woven heart. And see, weaving to me, I've got all kinds of looms and stuff, and I love to weave, so I put that in there. And I put the these little books that we did, or a little book that we did last week. Remember these?
Oh God, I don't like that thing.
And inside of it, I put a blowfish with the birthday cake.
Yeah. Because
yesterday was my birthday.
Oh, he's trying to blow out the cake.
Oh, and I like to paint. I painted a little picture there with some flowers and stuff on it. So I used my watercolor paints and I painted that up. And then when I was on the farm, I raised all kinds of livestock. Amongst my livestock was my peacocks.
Oh.
Or feathers off of the peacocks that I raised when I was on the farm. So I thought they belonged in the journal, my beautiful peacocks. Then I raised goats. I've got pictures of my goats with their babies. I got pictures of my sheep with their lambs. There's a picture of my flock of sheep and one of their little lambs out there in the front. These are American Tunis sheep, and their coats, when they grow up, their coats are cream color, but when they're babies, their coats are bright red. Now, why would I like red sheep? Because if anybody's seen me very much, they know that I'm a redhead, and you know, I had to have my red sheep. Then, remember these things that we did last week?
Oh, the infinity ones.
And I put the teapot, I put the cup. I've got little sayings inside of here. I got a butterfly in there. There's a flower. I've got little embellishments in it. As you fold it out, you get all kinds of things inside of there.
Is that very inside magnet?
No, there's no magnet on here.
Oh, it's
no
just
magnet at all. I just
so cute.
Fold it up, and I glued the biggest one. I glued the back of it to the page.
That's so cool.
That's the one we did last week. This is my house now. Michelle said she wanted to see my house. Well, there's my house.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
And when you walk in this big old front door, this big old 9-foot front door, you walk into Wonderland. My Wonderland room's right through there. So that's my house. Then remember this, where you pull the rabbit out of the cat's ass? I had to put that in there. And then this is the inside of the bag. I put my paper that I make, and I embossed it with some flowers on it. I went over it with some of that photo ink oxide stuff.
Vintage photo?
Yeah, vintage photo stuff. And then I put some die cuts on there. We got a hummingbird and a butterfly and some flowers and stuff. I put a applique up there at the top of it. I made a little pocket down here on the bottom of it and put some little flowers and appliques on that. Then I put a tag in here that I made with my washi tape, and it says, "This was the best ever." I thought that was a perfect ending to my journal. So there you have the trip through Wonderland and my Wonderland journal, telling about my life and some of the goofy things. I mean, Lord have mercy, I could probably fill up at least a couple dozen of these of things that happened to me in my life. But these are pictures that I run across and things that I come across that I thought needed to go in here, just to show some of the goofy things that transpired in my life and tell a little bit about my story. And I thought y'all might enjoy seeing some of that stuff. Hopefully I haven't bored y'all to tears.
No, they loved it. Kiki's still getting over the cootie catcher. I didn't know what it was. He didn't even believe that it was called a cootie catcher.
Well, let's see, it was called a cootie catcher. It was called a fortune teller. It just depends on, you know, who you was talking to and what they was using it for, I guess. But yeah, we called them cootie catchers and fortune tellers. If you put it up the one way, you could put your fingers in it and you could work it, you know, like for numbers. Somebody call out a number. If they said 4, then, you know, you open and close it 4 times, and then it would give you a color you'd pick, and somebody pick a color. And like if they said blue, you do it another 4 times for 4 letters in blue, and then you get I forget what else was in it. There was something else in it, and you pick whatever it was, and when you folded it up or pulled the page up there on that part of it, it would tell you what you needed to do or tell you your fortune, you know, like you'll be rich and famous, or you're going to flunk out of English, or you know, whatever the fortune was in it. And those were a lot of fun. But yeah, some people used to chase you with them, said it was called a cootie catcher. And so yeah, those things we used to do when we was kids. Yeah, we didn't have electronics when I grew up.
They didn't have that much even when I started growing up. So.
Well, kids today have a lot of electronics, so they probably don't know about cootie catchers and fortune tellers and all that sort of thing. Those are the ways we used to amuse ourselves. But
a lot of people remember them, and they are all loving this so far.
So any of you girls interested in learning how to make this coffee filter rose?
Do y'all want to stay a little longer?
I'll show you how to make the coffee filter rose, and then if you want me to stick around longer, I'll show you how to make the Texas Star out of the foil paper. I mean, we've been on here an hour. If y'all have bedtimes, you know, and have to get out of here, I'll understand. But so we got a couple yeses. There's a couple takers. All right. Well, now, if you want to make along with me, you need to go get your coffee filters. You need 9 coffee filters.
Everybody's like, yeah.
Fiona, you better hurry up. You need 9 coffee filters. And let me get it so the light's shining on this so you can see what I'm doing. You fold a coffee filter in half. You fold it in half again. And you fold it in half again. Okay? That's 3 times you folded it. You're going to do that with 7 of these coffee filters. And so, you know, I'm not going at no fast, wicked speed. I know that Fiona thinks that I'm just, you know, a wild woman in the craft room. But, you know, I'm doing this nice and slow. Y'all ought to be able to keep up with this.
Hi, Nancy. You're not late. We're still doing lives.
We'll be here a while yet because, you know, Fiona's got to catch up with the with roses here. We're doing coffee filter roses. You start out with 9 coffee filters, and then you take 7 of them, and you're going to fold them 3 times. Fold it in half again, and fold it in half for the 3rd time. So that was 2 of them that I got done. I'm trying to go slow. I don't want to outrun Fiona.
So basically, like 3/4.
See this? You fold it in half, then you'd be folding in a quarter, then you'd be folding it to an 1/8.
Okay.
It's 3 folds that you're putting in them, and you do 7 of them. 7 of them that way.
Hello.
So you fold it. I'll show you here again. Fold it in half. You fold it in a quarter. And then you fold it in an 1/8.
Okay.
Okay? You're going to keep doing that until you get 7 of them folded up.
Is this a part of your magic?
Yep, this is magic. We're going to turn these coffee filters here into something that looks like this.
If I can do this, I swear I'll be so surprised. Or I can be like Fiona and just throw my pasta in.
Yeah, and I want y'all to post pictures now of your coffee filter roses when you get them made. Post them to the internet there. Post them on Facebook and post them there on my page. You can post them there on, oh, why is my mind going blank?
Michelle's page.
Yeah, Michelle's page, The Artful Crafter, Where Imaginations Meet. And Crafty Mamas, Shelly's page. And Mandy's got a page too. Has Mandy ever come in here tonight?
I haven't seen her.
Because she said she's going to come in tonight. Mandy's got a page, and you know I can't remember the name of it. I'm lucky to remember my own name. Okay, I've got 7 of these folded up now. All right, you see the pile of them, 7 of them right there. Then the last 2, you're going to fold them in half. Then you're going to fold them in thirds. Or no, I take that back. You fold it in half. You fold it in half again. Yeah, that looks better. Then you're going to fold it in thirds. Because these 2 are going to be the centers for your rose. Okay, now, you didn't get it that time. Watch this. You fold it in half. You fold it in half again. Then you fold it in thirds. And it doesn't have to be exact. I mean, you know, just eyeball it. Then you're going to take your scissors. And you're going to make an ice cream cone. This open end up here at the top of it is what you're kind of aiming for. You're going to make a big old circle. Make it look like an ice cream cone that you end up with when you get done. Right like that there. Just take that top right off of it. And this is the other one that we did for the center. So we're going to cut that one around too.
Okay.
Okay. Then you're going to take all these other 7 that you made up, and you're going to cut them around in a circle on the top of them. Make them look like an ice cream cone, as you know, as near as you can. They don't have to be exact.
That's good because I can't cut a straight line.
You know, some people like to do one and then they put it up against the next one and they cut it exactly. You don't have to do that. I mean, it's a road.
Here.
Because you see, when you get it done, they're not meeting right up next to each other anyway. It's ruffled around the edges of it. So, you know, they don't have to be exact.
Melissa's here.
Who's here?
Melissa.
Hey, how you doing? You get all your paperwork filled out?
Not Michelle, Melissa.
Oh, Melissa. But you said Michelle. Lord have mercy. Melissa missed me unveiling the Happy Mail that I got from her today. And Melissa, there's something going to be heading your direction, honey.
I think she'll like it, Brenda.
Yeah, Brandy got to see it. I showed Brandy last night when I sent it to Melissa. I think she'll get a kick out of it. And no, it's not a dirty pour.
Melissa was like, "You got it already?"
Yep, got it today. I showed it to all the girls, all the pretty things you sent me. And that booby pour that you did, I'm going to be framing that and putting that in my bedroom underneath my spurs. We're making flowers out of coffee filters. Okay, now I've got the 2 done that's going to be the centers, and I've got the 7 done that's going to be the outside leaves on them. And let me get all my scraps off the desk here. Okay, then you take, you don't have to put a wire in it if you don't want to. Some people put wires in them, some don't. But you take this and you pull it apart like that.
I can't see what you're doing.
Can you see now?
No, where'd you go?
You can't see me?
Okay, there we go.
Okay, you take the filter and you cut it in half. Well, yeah, you cut it in half. You unfold it so that you got like, 6 across 6 petals. You cut it up the middle like that. You take the other one and you do the same thing where you cut it up the middle. You take the bottom of it, you fold it up just a touch there, and then fold it up just a little bit more. Make like 2 little folds in it. See how I do that? Folded it up, and then you fold it up again. And you do that on all 4 pieces. Little fold, another little fold.
So you do that for all 9 pieces?
Well, you're going to have more pieces than that before you're done. But just on these 4 pieces, it's going to be your center. The ones that we did in the thirds, we're going to start with them because this is the center of your flower. And you fold it and you fold it. Now, if you want a stem on your rose, some people don't want a stem on the rose, but if you want a stem on your rose, I'm going to show you how to do that, because you take your pointy tool and you're going to poke a little hole in one of these pieces here. Well, it works better if I can lay it flat. You poke just a little hole in that, just a little pinhole. Then you take a piece of floral wire, if you want to put a stem in them, if you're going to put these like in a vase or something, and you poke your little stick, your little floral wire, right through that little hole you made, which is easier for me to say than do, apparently. There we go. Put your little fold in there that you had. I put a little hook on on the top of my wire so it doesn't just pull right on through, and pull that down so that it is right over that fold.
Okay.
See that?
So it hooks into it.
Well, yeah, it hooks over it. Hooks over the fold. Then I take glue. Now you can use hot glue. If you want to use your glue gun, you can take tacky glue. I don't think glue sticks work very well on this, but if that's what you got and what you want to use, you can do that. Then I take a little glue and I put around the side of it just a little bit. I don't run it all the way to the top. And what we're going to do is we're going to roll that up on itself and over the wire. Just like that. And I push it down there where all that glue is. Just like that. Then you take your next piece and you put a little glue there around the bottom of that piece. And my seam is right here, my edge. So I take this one and I put it over top of that. I'm going to not have the seam showing. Wrap it around. And try to keep the top so that it's even on that. As close as possible to even. And I just kind of pinch the bottom of it up around that wire. You take piece number 3. Take your glue. Little dab of glue around the bottom of that one.
Hardly anybody say anything. I think we're all watching what you're doing.
Or they're all in the midst of cutting their flowers, and And I wrap that one around there, like that. Pinch it up there to that wire. And see how I've got all of them are pretty much even there across the top. You want to keep them pretty even. And pinch the bottom of it up real good. I kind of pinch and twist to keep it good and tight. Then, number 4. This is the last of your centers. Put a little dab of glue on that one. Then I find my seam here. I lay my seam down on that so that the seam isn't going to be showing. Not that it would anyway. I mean, you've got a lot of layers to go here, but I just try to keep them staggered. And wrap that around. And pinch and twist around that wire. Now there's our center. You can stop there if you want. You know, if you just want a bunch of rosebuds, you could stop with that. But I like to make them big and fluffy. So we're going to take these other 7 filters that we folded into 8ths. Okay, and in case you want to see that again, you know, we took the coffee filter and we folded it once in half. We folded it in half again. Then we folded it in half again. Then we cut around the top of it to make it into an ice cream cone. Okay, you're going to open it up and you're going to cut these in half.
Wonder how mad Noah would get if I used up his coffee filters.
Well, I look at it this way. If you're looking for an inexpensive craft that really looks nice and is cheap to do, coffee filters is your way to go. Because, you know, you can get a whole pack of coffee filters for $1.
Yeah.
If you're buying, you know, expensive scrapbook paper, you're going to be a little careful about what you're doing. But if you're on a frugal budget trying to do crafts and you want to make something pretty, this is your way to go. You just take these and see, and then you got, it looks like a heart when you get done.
You can make a whole bouquet.
Yep. You can make a bouquet out of these. You can make a flower arrangement out of them. You know, take a little craft foam or floral foam and set them in there. Put a little greenery around the bottom of it.
Oh yeah, Cloud9 Craft said that she did a whole wedding out of coffee filter roses and then dyed them to the wedding colors. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do that. Okay, then once you got your little hearts cut out, what I do is I just fold them up one time, just, you know, get the little point up, and, well, Lord have mercy, where did I do with my, there it is. I haven't left this chair. How can it run off that easy?
I told you it was magic. Made it disappear.
Poof. They're poof flowers. I put a little bit of glue around there, and I find my seam on here where I left off, and I lay that down, face down on that piece, and I wrap it around and pinch it. Then I take the next one, and I fold it up just a little bit there on the bottom of it, about 1/4 inch, just to get the point up. Take my glue, a little dab of glue around the bottom of it. Find my seam here, or my edges, put them down on that, and pull this up and pinch it. Let's see what we're ending up with here.
Oh, wow.
See how that's turning into a pretty rose?
See, Rose, they can be nice.
And I take the next one, and I just keep doing that. Now, whenever you want to stop, whenever your flower gets big enough that you want to stop with it, you can stop and, you know, save them for the next flower that you do if you want to. But if you want a great, big, pretty one, like this one that I made that I showed you, my one that I started off the show with. It's got all of these components in it. Pinch the bottom there of it. And go to the next one.
Oh, Rose.
What's Rose carrying on about now? She doesn't want to buy no coffee filters and put in the closet to keep her paint company.
Oh, no. She said, I am nice. Well, you know, LOL. She's mad I didn't have a comeback for her because she was talking about making a list and checking it twice. And I told her instead of being that she was naughty instead of nice.
Yeah, she's making a list of all the stuff that she wants to put in the closet with her paint.
You know how full that closet is now.
She's gonna have to build a closet extension.
An add-on. She said she is being good.
Oh, bless her heart. Just keep wrapping around there. Coffee filters won't take up much room in your closet, Rose.
Kiki said she likes to start fights and then turns and runs away. And Rose said she has no more room in her closet.
Gonna have to get some of that paint out and use is what she's gonna need to do.
That and her big shot.
You're gonna have to.
That's beside the desk.
You got a big shot that's sitting beside the table that's still in the box beside the closet where she keeps the paint in the crate.
Kiki said use the paint before it hardens in the bottles.
Poor Rose. So you're getting it tonight, ain't you?
She was giving it last night and getting me in trouble. And Kiki too.
So you just keep working on it, and as you go out further and further, you want to keep a loose hold on these petals that you're putting on so that it opens nice. You know, if you get them too tight, it's not going to open up good. And if you want to get really, really fancy with it, as you go, you can curl the coffee filters. You know, put curls in the edges of the leaves if you want to get real fancy with them.
Jeanette was talking about tea dyeing hers first and then doing them that way.
Well, you can do that. Now, what I used on mine was flat Fabio. I spritzed them with the pink first, and I let that dry, and then I spritzed it with the yellow in the Fabio. This stuff, Lindy's flat Fabio. Très chic, it's called.
Melissa said she was underwhelmed. Home Depot only sent her 4 of the 23 jars of her paint.
Oh man, they're gonna drag that out from now to Christmas, ain't they? So you should have jumped in before Rose and I got in there and bought it all.
That's exactly what she said, was that you bought them all.
Oh, the landing in my stairway is stacked up with the paint that I bought. I got it all out. It all came in Ziploc bags, and then the tops of the bags were all taped up, or tops of the paint was all taped up. I had to get that paint or get that tape off of there. And then none of the paint colors were marked on the tops of the jars. So I had to open every jar up and dab paint on the top of it so I could see what colors I got. I mean, hey, I'll tell you what we're missing, girls. We are missing our jobs as the namers of the paint.
Oh, God.
Where in the hell do they come up with the names of the paint? I mean, some of that stuff don't even make any sense. I forget what some of the names were, but I mean, I was just blown away because I'd look at the name on the jar and I'm thinking, oh, you know, that must be blue or something. You open it up and it'd be brown or, you know, some other color that, you know, wasn't even remotely anything that you guess. I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you know, I missed my calling because anybody can just pull a name out of a hat and slap it on a jar of paint and get paid for it. Are you kidding me? I never cease to be amazed. And I'll tell you what, there's another thing that while I've got you girls in here, you know, Shelley was talking the other night that we don't talk enough about women's issues and stuff and, you know, things about women and share experiences and share things that's going on and, you know, talk about real life issues. And I've got one for you girls. Since I got you in the craft room here, you know, in the chat room, we need to talk about this. Has anybody seen the web page for the Tata towels?
Yes. Oh my God, yes. And that is the dumbest damn thing I've ever seen.
Lord have mercy. The Tata towels. This thing, if you don't know what it is, the neck of it, it goes around your neck like a halter top. And it's got 2 strips of fabric that come down over your chest with cups that have elastic underneath them that you're supposed to tuck the girls in. There's no strap holding the 2 cups together. There's no strap that goes around your back. You're supposed to wear this thing like a bra. Okay. They call it the Tata towel.
It's supposed to keep your girls from sweating, which is gross.
Well, you know, if we've got any inventors out there in the chat room, I'm going to give you this, well, sort of for free. It's an idea that I've had that somebody that is an inventor that knows how to, you know, get things done and get things on the market and get things manufactured. You could take this idea and run with it. The only thing that I ask is that I wrote a little jingle to go with it. And if you market this, you must use my jingle so that I get royalties. Okay. Now, girls are not the only ones that have issues with gravity.
Oh my God. Oh
okay.
my God.
The fellas have issues with gravity as well. And so I was thinking, you know, if we want to do a public service, we will manufacture something that is called the berry bag.
God, no, you didn't.
And it would be like a belt that goes around their waist, you know, a little bag that goes down there to hold the berries to keep them, you know, from getting bruised on their knees when they start sagging.
Brenda, you gotta chat. I can't even read it right now.
Now here's my jingle. Okay, y'all ready for this? My jingle is, put your berries in the berry bag when they get old and start to sag.
Oh my goodness. No, you did not.
Yes, I did. I went there. I sure did.
Look at the chat, Brenda.
Oh, Janet got a kick out of it.
Yeah.
See, I told you, you never know what's going to go on in my show. You don't know what direction I'm going to go because I'm liable to go anywhere.
Oh my God. Jeanette just added to what you said. She said, shit, I can't even talk. She said, does your sack hang low? Does it tickle to and fro? Stick them in a berry bag and there you go. I'm so glad no one's not here. Yeah. Oh my God, I'm killing me.
You know, there's an idea for you girls. You want to get rich in a hurry, you know, make you up a berry bag because if they can make money on Tata towels, they can sure sell the berry bags. And, you know, we don't want to leave the fellers out. They, you know, they feel like they're left out enough the way it is. And, you know, they need help too.
Deb said she had to be right back. She had to go pee.
You're supposed to do that before you come to the chat.
Melissa said to send the EMTs that she was done. Okay, I don't think we can do this one, honey. I don't know if I can get through one.
So, you know, Shelley said that we needed to talk about women's issues. So there you go. You know, be careful what you wish for, because, hey, you want me talking about the issues, I will lay it right out there for you.
Rose said, if those nuts are hard to bear, your nookie nappy will be right there. And then Jeanette says, the berry buddy. Fiona said, oh, I'm so visual, so wish that I wasn't right now. Kiki, I don't know if I can try it, girl. Especially if we had to display them.
Well, yeah, you know, you get a mannequin and you put it on the mannequin, you know, so they can see how it's supposed to work. You reckon it should come with a manual? And if it came with a manual, would they read it?
No. No. They would not read it. Carrie said.
But there you have the rose. I got all of it put on there.
It seems like you don't have to organize.
There's the rose. I got it all put together. So all them pieces. Well, I take that back. Here's one more laying up here on the desk that I missed. So we'll put one more on there.
Carrie said that I think she said I told my hubby that it was so funny, and he said that we ain't right.
Well, if you saw what I originally put in the chat when I started up the show, I put on there, welcome to Wonderland. We're all mad here, but that's okay, because all the best people are.
Y'all girls are killing me. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see.
You don't know where to start.
No. Kiki said, get a hub to model and sing the jingle. Cloud9 said, this whole chat has brightened my day. Beth said, they might use it as a slingshot. Rose said, does that mean the straps to the nookie nappy will have to tie around the guy's neck? He said to sew in labels with arrows directioning where to put where. And Jeanette just come up with the whole spiel. Fellas, are you suffering from quadruple knees? The berry bag is all you need. It will hoist those bad boys right back up to their proper position so your third leg won't be lonely no more. Nancy said included pictures.
Oh, mercy.
I can't read that.
Actually, we're going to do this one with a little bit of the blue looking color that they got here. What do they call this? This is Darcy's. Gosh, let me get the big eye on it.
Damn.
Darcy's Bouquets Mint is what it looks like to me. They put it in fancy script on there, a little bitty print, so you can't read it. But shake that good, and I'll miss that a little bit. See how pretty that is? That's like a teal.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Go on the bottom of it here. There's that color on it. And then I'll take a little bit of this yellow. and highlight it with that. I don't know if that's showing up on there. It's pretty, but I'm not sure it's showing up. That's put the yellow on to highlight that teal color, and that's what it looks like. But that's how you can make big pretty roses out of coffee filters. And I mean, you know, look at that, you wouldn't know that was a coffee filter. Now on the toilet paper flowers, we could make toilet paper flowers, but first off, toilet paper flowers are not all that pretty to begin with. And toilet paper flowers, you can't really paint them. I mean, you have to be very, very sparing with any mist that you put on them, because toilet paper is biodegradable. So you get it wet and it's going to fall apart. If you're using coffee filters are made to be wet. So, you know, you can spray your paints and stuff on them. Use watercolor markers, you know, whatever you want to put on them, and they're going to show up real pretty. So I thought it would be better to show you the coffee filter flowers than it would be to mess around with the toilet paper. But if you all still want me to do toilet paper flowers, I could do that next week for you. But that's the coffee filter flowers. Just in case you have projects you want to put them on. Those look pretty on packages, you know, if you're giving gifts to people for their birthdays, and making up pretty things for work, or making up teacher gifts. You know, here we are in the school season, and, you know, if you want to do things like that, you can do that. Now, we've been at this almost 2 hours, and I haven't done the foil stars. Anybody want me to stay going and I'll do the stars, or do you want me to put it off till next week? Because I don't know what y'all's schedules are. I don't want to keep you up all night. There's always stuff that I can show you how to do.
Brenda.
In that case, doctors.
Give her a ta-ta towel.
Yeah, give her a ta-ta towel with a rose on it. No to the toilet paper. Okay, well, we won't do toilet paper flowers then next week. I mean, shoot, as far as I'm concerned, toilet paper flowers have been done to death. We used to do them when I was in school to put on the float for the homecoming. You know, you make the wagon up, you decorate it all up, and we used to do that with crepe paper and tissue paper and toilet paper, and decorate the floats all up. And so I have made, I don't know how many barrels of toilet paper flowers for the floats and stuff. So I think probably most everybody knows how to do toilet paper flowers. And if you don't, there's at least, you know, 4 or 5 dozen videos, I'm sure, on YouTube on how to make them.
They want you to do the stars.
Okay, well, we'll do stars. Okay. This stuff came from, I think it's pronounced Rinea. Is the name of the company, and they're online. It's RINEA.com, where you can get your foil and you can get your stencils for making these stars. You can make your own stencils if you want to. They're not that difficult to make. You know, if you know how to cut plastic with an X-Acto knife, you can make your stencils. But this is what the stencils look like. If you buy the stencil kit, you get 6 different sizes of stencils in the kit. And they go from this size here to this size, to this size, this size, this size, and this size. Okay, 6 different sizes. The biggest one here measures 5 inches from one side to the other side. One side to the other side, 5 inches. The second size measures 1, 2, 3, 4.5 inches. The third one, 1, 2, 3, 4.25 inches. The next one measures just under 4 inches, maybe 3 3/4. This one measures 3 inches, and the smallest one here measures 2.5 inches. Now, the great thing about this, as far as I'm concerned, is that you can use any combination of these circles to make your stars with. You're going to need 3 sizes. Just pick any 3 sizes that you want to make. If you're making them out of plastic, you're going to make a circle. You're going to leave about, well, let me see if I can measure that here. That is about a 1/2 inch in the center, little round 1/2 inch center. Then you're going to make a mark at the top and bottom on each side, and then you're going to make an X equidistant from each other so that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections in your stencil. Say it looks like a star cut out in the center of your stencil. And you're going to do that on all your pieces, whatever sizes you decide to make of your stencil. And it's easier to do this with a stencil than without, believe me. But that's the stencil that you make. Then you take your foil. Now they have packs of foil, and I'm not paid by Renia, okay? But it's the best place that I found if you're going to get foil. You can get foil other places, but it's not as good a quality as this stuff. Their foil is colored on both sides, and so you got gold on one side. These I got green and red there, or there's blue on the other side of this other one that I got laying down here in front of me, like that. You're going to lay your stencil down on your foil. Take a pencil. Well, pencil it's got a point on it. There we go. Find one with a point on it. And you're going to draw around your stencil. Make a circle right there around it. And it slips just a little bit. I mean, you know, this ain't rocket science. So, you know, don't panic if it slips a little bit. Then, what's that?
I said that's what you said last week.
Yeah, there you go. Then in each of these slits that you made, or that you got on your stencil, you're going to make a mark on those slits. You're going to make 2 of each size that you pick, whatever sizes of the circles that you pick to make your stars out of. And you're going to mark them out on your foil. And I'm going to do one of them here with the gold. I'm going to do the next size up. Whoops, I missed a mark on that one. Line that back up. Put another mark in there. There we go. First, I'm going to draw them out, and then I'm going to cut them out. The next one I'm going to do is going to be red. I'm going to go with the next size up on here and draw around it and make my marks. I mean, everybody's got lids off of plastic stuff that you bought at the grocery store. You can cut those up into stencils. I mean, you know, these aren't that difficult to make. You don't have to buy the stencils from the company. You can make your own. And you can do these out of aluminum foil too. You don't have to, you know, go and buy foil to make them. But if you're doing them, you know, for decorations, for packages, or decorations for your Christmas tree, or, you know, whatever, you might want to get a colored foil. And colored foil is something that I've not been able to find at the store. Now, I haven't been to Michael's or Hobby Lobby or any of those. They might have some kind of foil there, but
They do,
you know,
but it's expensive.
Yeah, if you go to Walmart, they ain't got it there. So I have to order about everything that I get. But this place, they've got different colors of it, and you can get it in a pack. And, you know, it just saves a bunch of time just to get it all in one place, I think. Unless you're out and about shopping and you happen to find across some that you like, you know, by all means. And then tell me about it, because I might order some. And I'm going with the next size up on the green for my star. Now, this is just going to be, I'm just going to make the one-sided star. If you want to make a double star, you would cut 4 of each piece. And I'll show you why here when I get around to making them.
Okay.
This is just going to be half of one just to show you how it works. Because if you make 2 halves, then it's all you got to do is put them together.
I don't know if I could actually do a 4. 2 I might do, maybe.
I'm just trying to give you the idea. Once you know how to make them, then, you know, you can make as many of them as you want. But there we've got all that stuff, and I'll set that to one side. And I better put the cap there on the glue. It dries up. Okay, then you take your scissors and you cut out your circles.
That's actually really thick foil.
Well, it's not real thick, but it's not flimsy.
Yeah, see, the stuff that they give in the craft stores, it's really thin. They use it for like heating and whatnot. So that's a little bit thicker, which is actually nice.
Yeah, I've got some foil over here. This is the kind that they make or wrap the candy in. This is candy wrapper foil, and it's real thin. You got to be real careful. That's the one that I made the star out of last week that I put in my journal. Yeah, and that is thin foil. You got to be real careful with that. This stuff, this is a little sturdier. I mean, this would remind you of the Reynolds Wrap. What do they call it? Super strength foil. Mm-hmm. You know, the kind that you use on grills and stuff. It's a thicker foil, but it's not as thick as like scrapbook paper or something. And cut the other one out here. Y'all keeping up with me?
They're all quiet because we're all watching. I might try this with regular aluminum foil and see how it works.
I put them all to sleep. They're all taking a potty break because they're so worked up over the berry bag. Everybody had to go pee.
Well, poor Jeanette did.
Well, now, see, me bringing that up, that's all Shelley's fault, because she's the one said that we needed to talk about the issues, and, you know, hey, that's an issue. I'm just surprised Mandy wasn't here to enjoy it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I didn't get to catch her show this morning. I was at the store when she had her show on. And I missed her this morning. I thought she said, when I watched her the other night, she said she's going to do it late on Monday. So I figured she's going to do it after I went off. And so, you know, that's why I wasn't at the computer watching for her this morning. I didn't realize she's going to do it in the, you know, early in the day. Okay, we're cutting out the last 2 for this half of the star.
Kiki said that she's planning to go live later.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I played it back, or, you know, I was in and out of the room. I was playing it back, so I caught most of it that she did. She does some interesting stuff. Okay, now that you got all 6 of your circles cut out, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut each one of those lines. And the line goes right up there to that center, you know, where you have the center circle that you don't make the mark on. And you're going to cut on every one of them lines up to the center on all 6 of these pieces that we cut out. There's the first one.
Oh, it looks like a windmill, or one of those, I think, oh crap, I can't think what they're called. It's farm equipment.
What are you talking about?
Okay, the circle that you just cut out, right now, it looks like those fan windmill things that are farm equipment.
Oh, yeah.
You can make them think I'm crazy if they don't already.
Okay, there's the second one. And then here's the third one. Going up a size into the red one. And you just keep clipping right around them.
They're still talking about the berry bags.
Am I a conversation starter or what? I mean, what other show are you going to go to where they talk about marrying off a couple of turkeys and they talk about berry bags? And you can't get this kind of entertainment anyplace on the internet.
Nope, fortunately. Make you on Netflix. Kiki said cardstock and yogurt cup berry bags with crush. Hey, Patricia. With glitter.
Oh, you can put sequins on them. You know, there's all kinds of stuff you do.
She said a My Little Brony model.
You can make them lace, or, you know, you can put all kinds of embellishments on there.
I am not about to tat, apparently. Oh, God.
Okay, once you get these cut out, now see, mine are two different colors on the sides, and it depends on what color you want facing out on your star as to which side you're going to curl. But on mine, I want to have green and then red and then the gold facing out on my star. So if you want green facing out, you have to turn the gold side up, because what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil, your paintbrush, you know, whatever it is that you're using to curl them with, and you're going to roll that right on the edges of each one of those points on these things that you cut out here.
Little Craft was asking if you can actually cut yourself on that.
No, this isn't sharp enough to cut yourself with.
Okay. Rose said she didn't want to bleed for her art.
Now this Renia foil. Now I don't know if you're using some other kind of foil. You know, I can't speak for other kinds of foil. I can just tell you what I've got. But you see there, you know how you curl the edges.
Okay.
And I mean, you can use a pencil. I'm using a paintbrush handle. Anything round that you can get in there to make a nice tight curl. But we do this with the foil for two reasons. One is that it's bright and shiny, and the other one is that the foil will hold the curl better than paper will.
These almost look like Christmas present stars.
Yep.
Fiona's being quiet. I haven't heard a peep out of her.
We may put Fiona to sleep.
That or she threw a star and it's stuck in the wall.
She may have passed out when we was talking about berry bags.
Said, can you use pop cans?
That you could probably do that. However, the aluminum will be sharp, so you do run the risk of cutting yourself, and it's thick, so it would be a lot more work than working with foil.
Rose said you're not going to claim plausible deniability, Brenda.
I have nothing to deny. Look, I've done showed you girls that I drove in the demolition derby, and that I had a turkey wedding, and that I took up with a dumbass that stole my car. And
these ladies, she's as tough as the nails that I can't find.
I mean, Lord have mercy. What could I possibly deny after I've admitted to all that?
Lord.
If you just keep working around it until you get them all curled in. And, you know, I'm not going to say this is a fast craft, but I'm going to say that, oh, it looks so nice when you get them done. At least I think they look nice. But there's, I've got the one piece done. Now I'm going to go to the next one and start curling it. Well, I'm going to try to curl it. Get under there. There we go. Being stubborn. I think these are really pretty, and they look nice hanging on the tree. If you got those suction cup things, you know, you can hang these in your window. They pick up the light real pretty.
Carrie said they look like the Christmas bows. See? That's exactly what they look like.
Yep.
I don't know what Rose is talking about. She said, "Oh, I missed the dumbass part." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Well, Lord, that's what most of that journal was about, was me being a dumbass. I mean, did you not watch me showing it?
Oh, okay. She said Brenda had some dumbass steal her car. Okay.
You didn't see me showing a picture of that idiot that lived with me? Yeah, Lord, he lived with me for a while, and then he decided that it would be a bright idea to steal my car, and he ran off to Canada. Now, I lived in Ohio. He ran off to Canada to meet up with a married woman that he had met on the internet in a chat room that was for people who thought that they had been abducted by aliens. I can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is the kind of crazy stuff that's happened to me in my life.
I would cut him. He went into those berry bags because I'd have cut him.
I figured if, you know, I was going to be throwing things in for Wonderland of the unbelievable things that had happened to me in my life. That was right up there. So, you know, that needed to go in the Wonderland journal. As much as I don't have any use for him whatsoever, the act that he pulled, that deserved honorable mention in Wonderland.
Well, now he's famous on YouTube.
Yep.
For being a dumbass.
You know, I don't know how many girls know this or not, but there is a website out there, and it is called, now I can't make this up, now listen, it is called mensuck.com. Okay, and you can go on that website and you can look up the names of guys to see if anybody has listed them on there for doing, you know, dirty tricks and, you know, things to gals, to get a dossier on them, see if their name's listed on there. So there, you know, there's a public service for you. If you got some fella trying to take up with you and you don't know whether he's, you know, worth giving the time of day to or not, you might check on there and see if his name's on there. You know, it could give you a heads up if some gal's been on there and posted about him and said, hey, you want to stay away from this goober.
All right, I've got some statements and questions.
All right.
Melissa said, just rewound and watching your Happy Mail. Glad you like it. And let's see. Ash said, Brenda, after he stole your car, how did you find out where he went and what he was up to?
Well, see, that's where knowing somebody real well pays off, because he'd been living with me for 8 years. And so I knew every website pretty much that he went to. You know, the computer he used was right there in my house. I knew all of his passwords. So, you know, he was pretty easy to track, to see, you know, just what has he been up to and what, you know, where would he take off in my car. And, you know, it was real easy to find out just exactly what all had gone on.
Wow, he was a moron.
Yeah. Yeah. Lord have mercy. I mean, you know, and I found this out like over a course of a week, what exactly had transpired. I didn't know it all immediately, because if I had known it all immediately, oh my goodness. He wouldn't have got out with his hide if I'd known exactly what he pulled when he brought my car back.
Patricia said, let's see. I bet you would find my ex on there. Cloud9 said, oh yeah, I meant to put my ex on there. Be right back. LOL.
There you go. You know, it's a heads up to women everywhere when they got somebody that, you know, isn't acting right. You get them on that website.
Fiona's back. She said, that's a funny website for idiots. Rose, yeah, that's a good point, Rose. She said, but some women will still get involved with a guy like that. More's the pity. I mean, yes, she's right.
Yeah, you know, that they're doing it then at their own risk. I mean, if you haven't done your research on whoever's taking up with you so that you know what they're all about, then, you know, hey, you get what's coming to you. You need to do your research.
Hi, starting over. Starting over just came in.
Hey, how you doing out there? We're doing all kinds of interesting things here tonight. We've been making roses out of coffee filters, and now we're making stars out of foil. I'm about halfway through with the curling on this, and then all that's left is the gluing up.
I can't wait to see the other side. F. Gilmer. Hi, y'all. Hey.
Well, hello, F. Gilmer. Glad to see you out there. You're new to the group. What's your first name, honey?
Brenda, we need to rename your YouTube channel called The Nut House.
It's called Wonderland. Wonderland, the land of the bizarre.
Where all the madness begins.
That's right. Let's see, I curled that one the wrong way, didn't I? Did it? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. Then this is going to be green, gold, and blue, because I'm just going to keep going this direction with it. Got to talking, wasn't paying no attention.
It's cool. Multiple different colors. I've been a few different options.
Well, you can do them all the same color if you want to. You can, you know, do them 3 different colors, 2 different colors. You know, I mean, whatever you want to do with them, it's up to you what color you want your stars to be. You can do them all one color if you want to. But I thought for the sake of demonstration purposes, I'd show you what a 3-colored one looks like.
Well, either way, it'll still be pretty because you made it.
Well, thank you.
Let's see. Oh, good. That made it back alive. Poor girl. She's had it rough.
Frida. Frida is F. Gilmer's name. Glad to meet you, Frida. Welcome to the crazy lunatic craft show we got going here. You're liable to hear anything in here. You never know what we're going to discuss. We craft and we just talk. We talk about whatever. And it is a wild, crazy journey that we are all on. The girls in the chat room, they're my tribe. And, you know, we're just all in this together. We're learning together and sharing experiences and talking about our crazy lives. And starting next week, I guess Michelle's going to be in here with me and Brandy. That should be a trip.
I'm going to need a new pair of ribs.
I'm going to have to go back and read the chat when this is all over with. What did Michelle have to say about the berry bag?
Michelle, I guess she didn't make it.
She ain't been in here. She said she's going to at least stop in.
Unless she snuck in and snuck back out without saying anything.
Oh, she going to catch it on the Memorex. You're probably too old, or you're probably too young to know about Memorex, ain't you, Brandy?
What?
Well, say back when I was a teenager, they had cassette tapes that you put your music and stuff on, and Memorex was a brand of a cassette tape.
Oh.
And they used to have these posters out for the Memorex company because Memorex was supposed to be, you know, top of the line, the best audio ever on the cassette tapes. And if you was listening to Memorex, you didn't know if it was real or if it was Memorex. So they made up these posters, and I used to have one of their posters. I wish I still had that thing. It's probably worth some money now, but it was a poster of a fella sitting in a chair in front of a speaker, and the audio from the speaker was blowing his hair back. That's how clear the audio was supposed to be on the Memorex cassette tapes. And so, you know, the big thing was always, is it real or is it Memorex? And because you can't tell if you're, you know, listening to it live or if you're listening to it on the recording. So I've always talked about, you know, people that listen to my show after it's gone off the air, you know, they're listening to it on Memorex because it sounds like they're right there with us.
I do know what you're talking about. When you said Memorex, for some reason I was thinking you said Memory X, so I heard you wrong. I just misunderstood.
Well,
yeah, my mom actually still has some of those. The tapes, she still has some.
You ain't hillbilly enough to understand me.
Oh my Lord.
You may be Southern, but you ain't hillbilly enough to get the accent down.
It's my mama's fault. You can blame my mother because he made me go to those god-awful etiquette classes. Because when I was little, okay, I've got a story for all you guys. Let's see. When I was a little girl, I used to talk like a heck. Of course, I ran barefoot, you know, didn't care. I would go swimming in the river with snakes, didn't care. I had a good time doing it. And I would get in mud fights, and yes, I ate mud as a kid. That's probably what's wrong with me. And I started elementary school, and the kids would make fun of me because of the way I spoke. And I would come home like crying a lot, and my mom would ask me why, and I wouldn't tell her. I didn't tell her until probably about 4th grade. So from 6th grade, the summer for 6th grade, on into, I think it was 8th grade, I took like the speech etiquette classes and
Eloquence?
Yes, eloquence. Oh my God. So I know how to fold napkins all fancy and crap. And I know how to sit like a lady and cross your ankles. I'm like, my God, I'm living in a book.
Well, see, when I was a kid, I spent most of my time with my granny, and she just lived right down the road from us. And she was from Kentucky. And so, you know, my hillbilly accent pretty much comes from her because, you know, I've listened to her all the time. When I would go home, my mom would get all over me because, you know, the way I pronounce stuff. Like she'd say, where did you put the glass? And I'd say, it's out in the kitchen. And she'd say, where? And I said, it's out in the kitchen. And she says, there is no N in the middle of that word. You know, and then she'd say, how long are you going to be gone? And I'd say, about an hour. And she'd say, how long? I'd say, about an hour. I forget what all other words, but there was a whole list of them. She'd just get all over me for the way I talked. I said, well, you know, that's Granny says it that way. Must be the way you say it. And so, you know, people say, you must be from the South. No, but I was raised by a bunch of rogue hillbillies, so I come by it honest. Granny used to say she had 2 pairs of spectacles, and she had a second pair so she'd have a pair to fall back on. When my cousin would come to visit her, you know, he'd see her second pair of spectacles sitting on the table. He'd say, why do you have a second pair, Granny? And she'd say, So I have a pair to fall back on. And he said, well, if you fall back on them, won't you break them? He says, no, I mean, fall back on. If I break this pair, then I've got another pair to wear to fall back on. Don't you understand?
Beth asked me to, or Beth said for you to say sandwich.
Sandwich?
Ashes said that she understands you just fine because that's the way her mom talks.
Hammy sandwich.
Let's see.
Okay, now we've got them all curled. You'd start with your biggest one. You know, we did these here, and the green was the biggest ones. And I'll see if I can get that where you can see it. We're going to put a dab of glue in the center of it. Then we're going to take the other green one. We're going to offset it so that, you know, when you have it set in here, you got the curls of the petals between the curls of the one beneath it, like that. And mash it together there in the middle.
Okay.
And then you're going to take a dab of glue and put in the middle of that. Then you're going to take this next size down and you're going to offset it in there.
Kiki said, say fish.
Fish. I don't say fish. And then you take the next one. So you really want to talk Southern, then you start saying, gee it. And the other person says, no, y'all too.
My neighbors didn't talk like that.
You take the next one there and you put your glue down and you tap it down there. Put another drop of glue in there. A dab of glue in the middle. You take this is the smallest ones we had, so we're going to put that in the center and we're going to tap it down in the center. Offset them just a little bit so they alter. And then put a little glue in the center of that.
Okay, so
put the last one in there. And if you need to, you take a pencil or your paintbrush or whatever and you tap it down. And get that offset very good. And we'll try to turn it a little bit. There we go. And that is your star.
Oh my God, they're so pretty.
And see this? If you make another one just like it, you just turn it over and you glue them on the back. And you can take a little bit of string, gold cord, whatever you got, and you can glue it in there before you glue the two halves together. See? And that way you've got a full star made up. And you can hang that in the window or hang it on the Christmas tree, hang it on your rearview mirror. If you just do the one side, these are real pretty on packages.
I think they'd be pretty against Christmas lights.
Yep.
Shine.
Yep. With it being foil, you know, it'll reflect the light good. But that's how you make the stars. You just start out with your star stencil, you know.
Frida said, she's seen you before, just not on live streams, but she's saying, where do you live now? I'm guessing because of what we were talking about.
Well, I used to live in Ohio. I went to school in Lewisburg, Ohio. Our farm was located at West Manchester, Ohio. Well, I've lived in Dayton. I've lived in Vandalia. I've lived in Brookville. I lived in New Madison. I lived in Inglewood. And then 5 years ago, I moved up here to Portland, Indiana. So,
Beth said that she doesn't see the star, that it looks like a flower to her.
But yeah, they call this the Texas Star is what it's called.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's actually a really good thing to do then, you know, since all that mess that's going on down there.
I thought everybody kind of enjoyed seeing how you do a star out of the foil, but you know, it's real pretty the way it's layered up there.
It is.
The camera so that you can see how it's layered up and the pretty colors on it. And like I say, you can use as many or as few colors as you want. You know, if you had 6 different colors of foil, you could do it in 6 colors if you wanted to. I just used 3 colors there in this one. But yep, that's what the stars look like. Now, is there anything else that you want me to discuss? Because obviously, you know that I'll discuss anything. I mean, do we have any other things that we need to solve? You know, any other body part issues or craft issues or journal issues or foil issues, paper issues?
Carrie
have issues.
She said, how long does it take to dry?
Well, it'll be dry by morning. It's just this is that Aleene's tacky glue.
It's a huge bottle.
Some people call it Aleene's tacky poo. So it'll be dry by morning. I mean, I just used a dab, and so you know it's not going to take it very long to dry. I come back in the studio in the morning, it'll be all dry and ready to go.
Beth said for you to tell us a bedtime story, Mama Brenda.
Oh, Lord, you wouldn't want me telling you no bedtime story. You'd never get to sleep. Oh, we got one that's in Indianapolis, Indiana. Janet out there.
Yeah, she's the one that had the concussion.
Ah, okay.
Well, she got your show.
Yeah, you are probably about an hour to an hour and a half away from me, depending on where you're at in Indianapolis. I am north of Muncie by about 30 to 40 minutes north of Muncie.
My goodness, lots of Indianans.
Mandy's in Muncie. I just found that out the other night when she did her live stream, because I didn't know there was any, you know, well, and there's a couple girls that live up in Fort Wayne. I knew about them, but I didn't know there's any other YouTube crafters that was in Indiana that, you know, I was aware of. And then Mandy was talking about Muncie the other night, and I said, Muncie? And she yeah, I'm in Muncie. Where are you? And I said, well, you're my neighbor. I'm in Portland. So.
Patricia is from Goshen.
Okay. Yeah, that's up north. That's probably about 2.5, maybe 3 hours from where I am.
She said she lives in South Bend now.
Yeah, that's a little further. You're probably talking maybe 4 or 5 hours to get over to South Bend. That's up by Chicago, Chi-Town.
Kiki, I'm gonna come visit you. I never know.
Now, Melissa has 70 Acre Studio. If y'all are not subscribed to Melissa's channel, you need to click on them 3 dots after her name there in the chat and click on her channel and subscribe to her channel. Melissa is extremely talented.
Yes, she is.
She is a wonderful artist. She's doing acrylic pour. She does some beautiful drawings. She does some great journal type stuff. If you didn't see the front of my show, you'll have to watch that back on Memorex, because I showed you a Happy Mail that Melissa sent me with a bunch of her art in it. And you need to check her out. You need to subscribe. When you go over there and subscribe, be sure you click the bell so you can click that little box that gives you the alerts on when she does show. She does show on Tuesday night, on Thursday night, and on Sunday night. So you need to check her out. Hey, Wendy, good to see you in there. Yeah, you'll have to wind it back, Wendy, because you will not believe the stuff we did on this show tonight. Let's just say Michelle is going to be so sad that she missed this one. And if you haven't subscribed to mine, please subscribe. Be sure and share it. Give it a thumbs up. I have this set so that I'm the only one that sees, you know, the thumbs up and stuff on it. And so far, you know, nobody has thumbed me down on this channel, but I've had other channels where I've had haters and, you know, people that just don't like to get along, and they give me thumbs down and stuff. So whenever I do shows, I always set it so that I'm the only one that sees the thumbs up and thumbs down on the channel. And so you can leave me thumbs up or thumbs down, you know, whichever you prefer, but I'm the only one that gets to see it. It does register. If you have not subscribed, please do subscribe and click the bell so you get alerts on when I do shows, because I do the show on Monday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Time live. I will sometimes do live shows during the week, depending upon what I'm doing up here in the studio. And then there's sometimes where I'll just do videos and just put videos up on whatever little projects that I happen to be doing. So you never know when I'm liable to put something up. So you need to click the bell and see when I put things up there. Then there is Crafty Mamas. You're going to want to go and subscribe to their YouTube channel and to their Facebook page. Then there's Michelle Scott. You want to subscribe to her channel and to her YouTube page. Her YouTube page is called The Artful, or no, what is it? Shoot. Why do I always get screwed up on that? The Artful Crafter Where Imaginations Meet. Isn't that right, Brandy?
For her Facebook page?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does that not seem right to me? I don't know. It's The Artful Crafter Where Imaginations Meet. And
no, you don't.
That's the YouTube page. And then Kiki's in there. Kiki's got a page too. Kiki, type the name of your Facebook page in there so that people know what your Facebook page is.
Hers is All-Inclusive Crafters World.
Okay. Well, she types it there in the chat. People know what it is to look it up there on Facebook. And gosh, I'm trying to think who all else. I know I'm leaving somebody out. Mandy's got a Facebook page. I can't remember the name of that one either. Kiki, you know the name of her page. You might put it on there. Thanks, Jenny, for subbing to Melissa. That's great.
Oh, thank you, Wendy.
Yeah, if y'all have Facebook pages that you want to list there in the chat, please do so. I mean, we are all here to support each other. We are a tribe, and we support each other in our endeavors and in our craftiness. You know, whenever one of us has an issue, we get a block or something, that's what the rest of us are here for, is to try to help and encourage. And if you have an issue with something that you're working on, it's not coming out to please you somehow, maybe somebody has an idea of something else that you could do with it or try with it that would help. And that's what we're all about. I do not have a craft page on Facebook, but I do have my personal page, and you're all welcome to join it. You just go to the Facebook search thing there at the top of the page where you search for pages and type in Brenda, and then put the dot, and then Gibson, G-I-B-S-O-N, and then the dot, and then the number 7 and the number 1. And that'll take you right to my Facebook page, and click friend on there. And that way I, you know, when I'm here at the computer and pull up Facebook, I'll see it and I'll grant your wish and put you in there. It's just like, you know, rubbing the lamp.
Wendy made a good point. She said we're also here to act ourselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, that you can't be serious and crying all the time. You have to be able to sit back and laugh at some of the things that you do. Not everything we turn out is going to be a masterpiece. There's going to be some times when we say, oh, well, it sounded like a good idea at the time, but look at that. And, you know, so you take it apart and you use whatever you could salvage out of it to do something else with. And then sometimes some of the things that we don't expect it's going to turn out actually turn out rather nice. So you never know until you try.
Yep. There is no such thing as bad art. Somewhere somebody's going to love it.
That's true. I mean, I watched some of these girls do pours on their channels, and they say, oh, I'm not happy with that. And I'm thinking, well, shoot, as far as I'm concerned, that's the best one I've seen you do so far. So you never know. I mean, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You just, you have to keep an open mind about it because somebody's going to like it.
Yep.
Well, I think we've worn them out, Brandy. We probably need to cut them loose. Lord have mercy. I've been on here 2.5 hours. Oh, so I think I'm going to let you all go, ladies. And, if you have any suggestions of other things that you want to see me do, I'll come up with something next week. You never know what I'm liable to come up with. I mean, I didn't really know what I was going to do today until this morning because I was sitting here kind of agonizing yesterday on what all am I going to do for the girls. And then today it just all kind of fell into place. Well, you got to do this and that and this and that. And before I knew it, I had a whole show put together and I've been on here 2.5 hours. So, but if you guys have suggestions on things that you would like to see, you'd like to learn, if I know how to do it or can figure out how to do it, I'll sure give it a shot. So, send me messages, leave me comments on the videos, because, hey, all that crosses my email. I see whenever somebody posts stuff and, I could come back and answer you. I try to answer everybody when they send me messages. And I also want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes that you sent me yesterday. Oh, my goodness, I was overwhelmed with with the people that was thinking about me on my birthday. And, the happy mail, Melissa, God love you. I'm just so touched and honored by the happy mail that you sent me. So with that, ladies, is all I have left to say is Brenda's crafty. Be like Brenda. See you later. Nighty night.